Okay, so two very important things happened today. First and foremost, my Tesla hat finally came. I mean, check this thing out. It's like, it says Tesla over and over again in the inside, the backs, little things, Tesla too. Pretty cool freaking hat. Okay, been waiting on that for a couple of weeks. The second thing, much more impactful for your financial situations, at least your position in Tesla stock. Give it up for Tesla. Tesla closed above $260 per share. I didn't want to talk about this too much in the video that came out at 4 p.m. today, the market close video, just because you never know what Tesla will do by the last couple of minutes of trading. We could have seen a big reversal. The fact that we did not, baby, oh man, sets us up for some potentially pretty big upside from here. We're going to talk about that here in this video, where I think Tesla stock can go, give you the latest numbers on Tesla stock right now. This is the video, as I said, you do not want to miss. This is a video consider sharing with a buddy, a friend, a pal, someone that also needs to hear this information. These kind of turning points do not happen often. This is a multi-year change of trend, and we need to talk about it here in this video. So let's get into it. So first things first, two things happened today that caused Tesla stock to rally about 2%. Number one is the, I guess, rumored refreshed Model Y that is coming by midpoint 2024. This is expected to be an even larger upgrade than arguably the Highland. So this should really help fuel some demand, especially late 2024. I mean, after all, the Model Y is the best-selling vehicle in the world, so give people a reason to upgrade from a product they already love to a product they're gonna love even more. How could that be negative? The second thing that happened today is the markets finally priced in 7 rate cuts for 2024. We've been inching closer to 7. We've been at 6 since the last Fed meeting, but now we're finally at 7. So as long as the economy holds up and we don't enter into recession, the more cuts, the better. At least for Tesla stock, for your portfolios, for lending products, for the generalized economy, lower the better for interest rates. This means maybe the worst is behind us. After all, Tesla in 2023 was faced with the highest interest rates they have ever seen in their business history and still put up pretty impressive numbers, albeit they did have to cut prices. That seems like it's a story of the past. If anything, Tesla could be raising prices in 2024. But that's neither here or there. What is here right now is a break of $260 per share. Now, why is this significant? A lot of people might not understand why everyone's talking about 260 for Tesla. Well, it's actually pretty simple. From the high of 2021 back in November, specifically the high was placed on November 4th, Tesla stock has seen quite a decline. At one point, Tesla was down about 80% from its all-time high. Well, when you connect the peaks that were getting lower, back here you had one in January of 2022, in April of 2022, and you even more recently hit this level in July of 2023. You proceeded to hit that yet again, or pretty close to that, in September of 2023. And now you're here again. This is what you call a multi-year downtrend. This pretty negative in and of itself. You usually don't want to see a multi-year downtrend. But when you reverse that and you break above a multi-year downtrending trend line, that can give you some huge returns. I mean, do you remember back here during October, early November, when we were talking about this cup and handle on the triple Qs? And this is all the same technical work we had at the time, but we went on to say that if the triple Qs, the market itself, were to break above this downtrending line, this cup and handle could form into much larger upside. What happened? I mean, you broke above, and you never looked back. This is what could happen, likely will happen for Tesla stock. Now, this downtrending line right here that you've seen from July until, November, that the NASDAQ was getting rejected off of 1, 2, 3, 4 times before you finally broke out above the 5th time. This was a shorter term trend. Now, Tesla is a multi-year trend. So the overall significance of this is massive. If you are a technical kind of person, if you incorporate technical analysis into your trades, this opened up Tesla as a trading opportunity for a lot of different people. Basically everyone that trades on a technical basis. This also puts the shorts in a very bad spot, because the fact of the matter is the odds that Tesla goes higher from here are increased. The odds that Tesla can hit new all-time highs in 2024, well, the odds just increased. The odds that Tesla can rally well into the 300s just increased based on Tesla closing above 260. Now, I will say we do need to hold 260, right? If we come right back down, let's say tomorrow or the day after that or the day after that, that's not going to be great. You want to hold 260 for a period of time or continue higher. You don't want to fall back under 260. That would be negative. So we're not in the clear just yet, but Tesla did see a solid close above 260, currently at $261.40 here in extended hours trading. Tesla hit a high of the day today at $263.34 per share. Tesla has been seeing a lot of resistance around 258 recently. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days now. And, well, we just went way above that today. We showed 258 zero respect as resistance. That's another short-term kind of signal that says maybe Tesla is going a lot higher from here. We do have some upcoming catalysts, one of which is delivery numbers. Delivery numbers should come out on January 2nd. Now, delivery numbers are going to be a big deal. Wall Street currently has estimates around 483,000 or so. Well, my estimate is around 510,000, in between 500, 520,000. I'll be surprised if we come in less than 500,000. I'll be surprised if we come in higher than 520,000. I think a good realistic middle ground is around 510. Piper Sandler analyst Alexander Potter expects about 507,000 deliveries. If Tesla comes in anywhere over 500,000 deliveries, that's going to be another leg up, likely, for Tesla stock. Tesla really, in theory, only needs to come in at about 475,000 deliveries or so, and that should be seen as good news. But it seems like after the latest round of insurance registration numbers out of China, being they were 18,500, it looks pretty clear that Tesla's at least going to beat 475. It's looking more likely Tesla's going to come in about 500,000 or more deliveries. We also know that there are rumors that FSD will enter the Chinese market some point in December, if not in January. This could come after the delivery numbers at some point, maybe mid-month in January. That will also serve as another catalyst to then again send Tesla stock even higher. And you know what's actually interesting about where we are now with Tesla is the valuation is at the lowest point it's ever been at in Tesla's publicly traded history ever since they were a profitable company and actually got a PE multiple. Now, Tesla's P multiple is currently 82, and as the Motley Fool says, it's not unreasonable to expect the price to earnings ratio to expand significantly. And for reference, since the start of 2022, this valuation metric peaked at 245. So in theory, Tesla stock could double from here to $522 per share, and it would still be trading at roughly 160 PE multiple, which is still lower than what we've seen at the high of 2022. Now, that is obviously not an investment or trading thesis, but it just goes to show how much value increase you could see to Tesla stock before you really have to make the argument that the stock is overvalued. The only argument that I can even acknowledge at this point that makes any inkling of sense is we go into a recession in 2024. I don't know that answer. It doesn't look like it to me that we are heading into a recession. If anything, we might see an acceleration of the economy, at least certain sectors, maybe the consumer, if real estate picks up and people can sell their homes, right? Maybe lending picks up, things like that. But I don't see a recession, but that's a possibility. As I also reported previously, 65% of fund managers are underperforming the S&P 500. About 75% of fund managers underperformed the S&P in 2022. You cannot afford to underperform again in 2024, or you are going to start losing lots of clients. If you are looking at Tesla in its entirety, as the estimates have fallen dramatically for 2024. The valuation is at the lowest point it's been at. Interest rates are going to fall big time in 2024. You're now above 260. I think there's a real question we need to ask. Do the shorts start to contribute to this rally? Meaning, do shorts start to cover on some of their short positions? I mean, any fund that remotely understands risk management is going to say above 260, I want to get out of Tesla. Because above 260, the game just changed. And we're not talking about a little bit. We're talking about a lot. Potentially a break of a long-term trend over the next 6 months, maybe longer, maybe shorter, could send Tesla stock to new all-time highs. Usually, when you break out of a long-term bearish downtrend, you tend to exceed the start of that bearish downtrend. So that if that bearish downtrend started at $414 per share, then theoretically Tesla over the next coming months could rally above that just to break the trend and make the trend gone. Potentially start an upside trend, which is actually, what's happened since you hit the lows back in January of 2023. Now, something else that I think is important to acknowledge is most of Wall Street is probably not trading right now. This is one of the slowest weeks of any given year, the last week of the year, because if you've already tax loss harvested, well, you don't have any more of that to do. You're not going to tax loss harvest the last couple of days of the year at this point. You had your chance to do that. These funds, they settle their books, they go home. Because, even tax loss harvesting, we're in the Santa Claus rally. Santa Claus rallies tend to give you about 1.4% of a positive return 80% of the time, a little bit more than 80% of the time. You're not waiting until the Santa Claus rally to tax loss harvest. You're also likely not buying during the Santa Claus rally as well. Most of these funds wait until the first or second week of January to start buying. Now think again. What is tax loss harvesting? Well, you sell a stock, you can write off those losses relative to some gains you may have taken, right? But when you tax loss harvest, you have to wait 30 days to buy back that stock again. So a lot of tax loss harvesting actually happens in the beginning of December, if not in November. So right at about the start of the new year, investors can go buy that stock back that they tax loss harvested. And it makes sense to me that we probably seen some tax loss harvesting in late October, if not November. Potentially. Maybe that's why Tesla stock did sell off to the, extreme degree in which it did following Q2 earnings from 300 down to, 193. Or even from, October until the end of October, going from 270 down to 190. Maybe some of that was tax loss harvesting. Maybe it makes sense that funds will start buying Tesla stock in the beginning of January. And again, back to one of the most important points. If you're a fund manager, you cannot underperform in 2024, and Tesla stock is not set up in a way to underperform. Estimates have gotten crushed for 2024. The bar is not high for Tesla. So it looks like to me, any good news is likely to be really good for Tesla stock from this point onwards. And remember, there is $6.2 trillion in money market funds currently that likely comes back into stocks, at least a portion of this. As other automobile manufacturers like GM, Ford, Stellantis, the likes, have pushed back their investment horizon to transition to EVs because mostly the UAW contract kind of screwed them. Well, that puts Tesla in the optimal position to attract investor capital. If you want to invest in the next generation of vehicles, which is EV vehicles, high-tech, technologically advanced vehicles, your real only option at this point is Tesla or Rivian, but Rivian is trading at way higher multiples than Tesla is. Tesla had a big day as far as institutional option activity. You had 782 hedge fund institutional options trades, totaling $2.44 billion with a positive order value of 76%. That's very strong. The average over the past week was 59% positive. So today was a big outperformance, almost 20% of an outperformance. Overall volume today was 56% calls, 44% puts. So it would suggest to me, which is a little bit strange, that institutions potentially were even more bullish today than retail investors in Tesla stock. It seems like retail kind of let institutions and hedge funds take over and see what they were going to do next based on the option volume analysis. The 260, 265, 260, 250, and 270 calls attracted the most activity to the upside. This is looking at the entire options chain, whereas the 280 call also attracted a lot of attention. The 290, 285 as well, seeing about 15,000 contracts that were bought for those apiece. The $400 call had about 5,500 contracts that were bought. The $300 call had 42,000 calls that were bought today. Overall, total call volume was 1.06 million, total put volume at about 911,000. Between the market, you did have 100,000 calls that were paid, that were bought basically over the asking price, and between the market about 76,000 puts that were bought above the asking price as well. So it looks like more people spent more for calls than people spent for puts. Hopefully that makes some sense. The total short position in Tesla is definitely going to move higher after today, but right now you do have $22.88 billion worth of short positions in Tesla. This is likely to cross over 23 billion, if not about 23.3 billion coming tomorrow, with 3.28% short interest of free float. Just for context, just so everyone remembers, Tesla is the most heavily shorted single stock on our markets, and Tesla is about 2.5% of the total stock market short interest. So Tesla is very short. So in my personal opinion, where does this set up Tesla stock, and where is Tesla going next? What am I also doing with my position in Tesla? So personally, I'll answer that question first. What am I doing with my position in Tesla? I'm casually buying Tesla stock. I'm not aggressively buying Tesla stock because I have been aggressively buying Tesla stock. I think it's a really good time to be aggressively buying Tesla stock, and I might choose to do that in the next, coming days. Let's see how the stock reacts around 260. The first, or really the next big candle or next big break we get above 260, I'm going in with a options trade on Tesla. I do not recommend that at all for anyone. Do not listen to me at all. I'm just sharing openly and honestly my feelings and positioning around Tesla. I break this down in the trading community. Check that link out down below in the description of this video if you guys want to be a part of the action over there. But I do want to trade Tesla to the upside with options when we get a stronger break of 260. Right now is great. We got confirmation 260 got broke. That's great. We need to see it stay above 260 the next couple of days, preferably break out to 265, closer to 270. When that happens, well, I think Tesla stock could run to about $300 per share, and likely you find some resistance around there. This probably happens, if I were to guesstimate, around January 2nd when we get the delivery number. If not, the preceding couple of days following that, you likely rally to about 300. Now, whether or not we actually get FSD entering into the Chinese market, if that happens, Tesla could rally to as high as 350 in the first, 2-3 months of 2024. If not, then maybe it's a little slower going above 300. Maybe we just rally to 315 or 320. But I do think we're going to retake the highs that we've seen during the summer rally of 2022 relatively soon, within the next 1 to 3 months. I do think a rally to 300 could happen within the next 10 days or so. Maybe, 15, 20 days or so. Give it some time after delivery numbers come out for digestion, for analysts to raise price targets. That's going to happen as well. You're going to see a lot of analysts start to raise their price targets for 2024, especially if you come in around my estimate of 510,000 deliveries. Yeah, that's going to be a big deal for Tesla stock. I really can't say that enough. And I'll say it again. It's going to be a big deal for Tesla stock. And that will likely fuel a much larger upside movement. And then you have all these other different variables, like if shorts start to cover on short positions, how do retail investors take this? Do retail investors see the break of 260 and start going, into Tesla stock even more? There's some of those things we just don't know. But besides shorts covering, besides retail getting overly enthusiastic about Tesla again, I can see a rally to 300 in the next 15 to 20 days or so. But that's just my opinion. I'm not trading on that. So I'm not making a trade on that. Don't make a trade on that. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not that guy to just blatantly listen to openly with no regard for risk management or, probabilities, statistics, deviations, none of that. But that would be my expectation right now. That is my expectation right now. Take that information for how you will. I do think in 2024, by the end of the year, at some point, we will probably get an aggressive pullback. If we do break into the 350s some point before the first half of 2024, I likely expect a pullback back to the, 320s, 310s, 300, and then a larger aggressive rally in the second half of 2024, especially when we get the announcement of the next gen Model 2 $25,000 Tesla. That's where things get truly explosive for Tesla stock. So that's kind of what I'm expecting here over the midterm or short term, midterm, longer term. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What do you think about today's boost to Tesla stock and the fact we're now above 260 again? Does it mean anything? Does it not mean anything to you? Let me know down below in the comment section. Thank you for watching, guys. My name is Michael Tyler. I'll see you in the next one.